Hello, it's nice to be back doing a video. These reels are driving me insane. I spend about an hour trying to say everything that I've got to say in 90 seconds, which is really hard for somebody who talks as much as I do. So I've not done a video for the last few weeks, and I don't even know if this is going to upload or not, but we'll give it a try. So I've still got, from at least the last 2 or 3 car boots, I still need to film what I've bought and show you, because I've been buying some really lovely stuff the last few weeks. But instead of worrying about catching up with all of that, I'm going to show you what I've bought today. So I've just posted a reel. Now, bearing in mind it's Saturday night now, I'm probably going to post this tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. I am having a lie-in tomorrow morning, and I'm not going to the car boot because Shrewsbury car boot isn't on, which means me driving about 40 minutes to the next nearest one. And I just thought I could really do with a Sunday in bed, and a Sunday morning in bed, not because I'm hungover and I've had too much wine, but a Sunday morning in bed just because I'm going to have a little bit of a relax. I dare say I'll still be awake at 5, half 5. I am most mornings, but at least I can just lie there and read a book or whatever. So anyway, enough of that. Let me show you. So yeah, so I've just posted a reel of the clothes that I bought today, which was, I got to the last but one row without looking at any clothes. Really don't need any more, and then got to a table with a really nice lady. She was saying she's got 2 daughters and they buy loads of clothes and half of them they don't wear, and I said, yeah, I've got 3 daughters, I know exactly what you're talking about. So I started looking through for my daughters from her daughter's clothes, but then there's also all sorts of bits and bobs of hers in there which were lovely as well. So the reel that I've posted was the 37 items of clothing, and it was, for example, tops were 50p each, little tops. And then I said, well, if I'm having a lot, can I do 3 for £1? She was like, yeah, fine. Then there was a pair of pyjamas, only a Primark pair, but brand new with the tags. They were £1.50. Coats were, I think, £2 each, but she let me have those for £1. So it worked out at 37 items, I think I counted. And I paid £18, so that averages out at about 50p or less an item, which is just brilliant. And if you've seen the reel, you will have seen me doing all of this as quickly as I possibly could to try and tell you the names of the items. It's a shame I couldn't show you a little bit longer, but anyway, so that's the clothes done. Now I'm going to show you the housey things that I've bought from today, and I've had some lovely bits again. It's really been good, and I didn't get there until gone 8 o'clock, which is late by car boot standards, especially at the ones that open at 5 in the morning. But yeah, I didn't get there till 8 or 8:15, and just thought, right, all the good bits will have been gone, but still came home with absolutely loads. So it's been fab, really lovely morning. So I'll start with, on my story, I put a little picture of a tarpaulin, and the lady had got a sign up. She's there most weeks. I think she must do house clearances. 3 items for £1. And I'd found it's always the same. I either find 2 items and then I'm struggling to find a 3rd item, and then I find one and I find another. I can't decide what to have. So I said, please, can I do 4 items for £1? And she's lovely. She's like, yes, you can do whatever you want, my darling. So I'll start by showing you the items that are on the picture earlier. And the 4 for £1, I bought this, and this reminds me of like the honey pots, which it isn't. It's a vase. I just love that. I love the colour of it. I love this shade of green. I love the style of it, and it's really tactile as well. So that was one of my 4 for £1 items. Very pleased with that. That's one of my favourite buys, I think, of today. I got these 2 little flan dishes, which are very 1980s. They are Royal Worcester, so you know they're good quality. I have noticed, I didn't notice at the time, I wasn't really checking, but I have noticed one of them's got a tiny little chip on it. I can't even see it now, but yeah, one of them's got a chip on it, but I thought they were nice. Yeah, very dated, but very practical, very usable. So that was 2 more items. And then this, I'll go back to front. There you go. You might think this is a little bit tacky. You might be right to think that, but this is lustreware. And lustreware, which sounds very fancy. I've also got to give you an example of some lustreware egg cups that I'm going to show you in a moment as well from somebody else. But lustreware, basically all it means is that you've got this sort of iridescent glaze on it. Can you see sort of the way it catches the light? I mean, it just screams vintage, doesn't it, when it's got that? So yeah, so lustreware, fancy as that sounds, it just means a pottery item which has gone in a kiln. It's come out with this glaze. And the way they used to do it is, when it was painted, there were metallic paints that they'd paint them with, and it's something to do with the way in which it oxidizes. So a normal pottery item would go into a kiln for a set amount of time and then be brought out, whereas with lusterware items, they'd put them in the kiln at a set temperature for a certain amount of time, but less than usual, take it out and then put back in and do it at a lower temperature for part 2. So it was done twice at 2 different temperatures, and it's something to do with oxidization, and that's about as scientific as you will get from me. But yeah, so that's lusterware. So so this is a little mantle vase, posy vase, whatever you want to call them. Fish on one side. I mean, this would look, it's quite kitsch, isn't it? It'd look quite cool on somebody's bathroom windowsill. I don't know where I'm going to put it, like most things that I buy, but I dare say I'll find a place for it. So that's my 4 for £1 purchases there. I bought this jug, which I thought was lovely. It's got a sticker on, somebody's had it from an auction house, but it was only 50p. So these look nice with big flowers in them. I bought 2 swans. Again, you may well have seen these on my story. It was £1 for the 2, and I didn't haggle with him because I had some other things and I'd done a fair share of haggling with him already, so I paid my £1 for these. But I was very pleased when he said £1. I was expecting him to say, well, they're £1 each, so £1 for the pair I thought was brilliant. So again, they'll probably go on my dressing table, but my dressing table's getting so full I need to move some things out. From the same man that I had the swans and the blue vase from, I also got this cranberry coloured glass. Goodness knows what's been put inside it. I don't know what that is. It's like little polystyrene balls. It's not solid silver, it is EPNS, so it's not another Tiffany & Co moment like I had the other week. But you don't tend to see them. The cranberry ones are rarer, they tend to be the plain glass. So yeah, 50p, I mean, smashing. Something else to go in the collection. That'll go in my dresser, I've got a few of them in there. I bought this. If mums were flowers, I'd pick you. I can't buy it for my mum because my mum's been gone 7 years. I could perhaps give it to my girls to give to me on Mother's Day, but the reason that I bought it isn't because I'm being all cringy and buying myself a I'd pick you mum mug. I do like my mugs, as you know. I do come home with a mug most weeks, but I bought it because look, it's Holly Hobby. I mean, it's a reproduction, it's not from the 70s, but Holly Hobby, she's on both sides. And I loved Holly Hobby in the 70s. Absolutely loved it. I had bed sheets, which I've still got, funnily enough, because I don't throw anything away. And I think the duvet cover disappeared over the years. But yeah, I've still got the bed sheets. Holly Hobby and Sarah Kay, oh gosh, takes me right back to childhood. So hence why I bought myself, if I were a mother, I'd pick you mug. So that was 50p as well. Again, I think I'll put that on the story. Talking about lusterware, this is what I said I'll show you. There were these egg cups and there was 3 of them, and I think I probably would have got them for 50p. And then I said to him, oh, I don't suppose you've got another one, have you? And bless him, he went rooting through this box and wrapping loads of newspaper. He said there were more. He said, I think I've bossed them all, which is a black country saying for I've broken them all. I said, oh, that's a shame. And then he said, oh, I found one. He said, there's 4. I said, oh, brilliant. How much? So he said, oh, £1. So fair play to him. There is a tiny little chip I've noticed in one of them when I got back, but it is tiny. But again, that lusterware, look at the glaze on it. It's just so pretty, so lovely. And the fact that there's 4, I'm very, very pleased with. I bought these. Now, a lot of you will know a lot more about Portmeirion than I do. I don't really know anything about it at all, other than as I'm becoming older, I'm becoming very, very fond of it. To me, this is like the original Emma Bridgewater, if you like. Obviously, it was around long before Emma Bridgewater, but it just screams out classic English country house. And whereas, you know, even up until probably 5 years ago, I would have thought, oh no, it's not my thing. But the older I'm getting, the more I'm appreciating just how beautiful it is. So there were 2 vases. So here's the one. They're the same shape and size, quite a good size. And here's the other one, which is just as beautiful. You see? I mean, they really, really are lovely. And they've got a price ticket on. Really nice lady. It's the lady who donates all of her jam making money to Macmillan Cancer. So £10 each. I'll just show you. Can you see? So she was asking £10 each. And I had a quick little look online at what they were going for, because like I said, I don't know huge amounts about them. and I saw some on eBay which really weren't going for very much, and I sort of walked away, and then I went back and just said, would you consider £10 for the pair? And I said, it's absolutely fine if not. I said, oh, and she said, oh, I've had them years. I said, you probably know more about them than me. And she said, let me have a look at the prices online, which I've not done before. I don't tend to flick through my phone, because by the time you've sort of gone onto your phone and searched what things are selling at, somebody else has come along and bought them. So and you know, it's car boot, normally it's a couple of quid. So you've just got to get in there and buy what you like and what you see, because if you leave it, trust me, you go back for it 10 minutes later and it's disappeared, it's gone to somebody else, and you kick yourself for the rest of the day. But I said, well, would you consider £10 for the pair? And she said, you know, she said, I think I would, yeah. She said, I think that's probably a fairer price. So that was a really nice deal. I was really straight with her about what I'd pay, and she was really straight back. And I think, again, I've still not had a chance today to look the prices up, but if I show you the two of them together, I think that £10 for the pair, they're not a matching pair, but they're, you know, similar style, similar range. I think that was quite a good buy, so I'm quite pleased with those. Oh gosh. Doing what I always do and breaking something. I haven't, they are fine, thank goodness. Oh my goodness me, can you imagine? And then from the same lady as well, after I paid for those, I then saw that she'd also got another bit of Portmeirion. I've got this headband on, by the way, because my roots are so bad. And I put a home dye on a few weeks ago, and it's taken in some parts and not in others, probably because I was rushing as usual to do it, like I rush to do everything. So my hair just looked horrendous. So that's why I've got this tie that I bought for 50p, this headscarf. Well, it was a souvenir scarf, and I folded it up because it's really good for, it hides a lot of your roots, even though I'm pointing them out to you. But anyway, so this is the other Portmeirion piece that she had, and again, £10 on there. So I paid her for the vases. Then I spotted this and I said, well, would you consider £5 for the bowl then? And again, absolutely fine if you don't want to. Should I tell you what, love? She said, make it 6 and you can have it. And I said, yeah, that's great, thank you, I'm very happy to do that. So, and it's absolutely pristine, so that's lovely. I don't know what I'm going to put in that, and I don't know where I'm going to put the vases, but I'm definitely going to find a place for them because I do really like it. And you watch, that'll be my next thing that I'll be collecting. I bought this. This was £1. Again, posy vase, mantle vase. Is it silver? Let me have a look. Oh, it isn't actually. Normally they are. It's £1, and it has got a few cracks in it there. And I don't know if you can see, but it's got one here as well. So I was aware of that when I bought it. I think he wanted £2, and I said, look, it's cracked, which it is. I said I'd pay £1 for it, but I don't want to pay 2. But the main reason that I wanted it, you can probably guess. These are just becoming harder and harder to find, the flower frogs, and the amount I've got rid of over the years, or I've sold a vase to somebody and I thought I'll put them a flower frog in. And now that I've got this house in the country with this lovely garden full of plants, and I love going out for weekends and cutting flowers and bringing them into the house, but I've got a real scarcity of these. So the main reason I bought this was for the flower frog. So yeah, you just put your stems through there. The other way to do it, a friend of mine gave me this tip, I hope she's watching, years ago, is if you've got a round vase, I think her mum told her, you get sellotape and you put it across, and then you put it across the other way, crisscross. So it's the same thing, and then you put your flowers in amongst the sellotape. So yeah, Nikki, if you're watching, I remember you telling me that. I think it was one of your mum's tips, bless her. Flatbacks. Some of you will think these are really, really cringe. I used to think they were really, really cringe. But I'm starting to quite like them now. Do you know what it is? I can't find the other one. I see them on other people's stories and I think, oh gosh, doesn't that look lovely on their fireplace? And then the next thing you know, I'm looking for it, trying to buy one. So what I like about these, this is the first one which says going to market. And then this one says returning home. And these are quite standard really, that you'll get 2 facing inwards, a bit like if you think about wally dogs. So wally dogs would come in pairs, they'd sit either side on the mantelpiece, and then it's the same idea with Staffordshire flatbacks. And you do find with these, and this is what I like about them, that one will have one logo on it, or saying one motto, and then the other one will have another, and I think that's quite cute really. So yeah, they are a bit twee. She was asking £5. It's a lady I've known for years, and I said, will you take 4? And she said, yeah, absolutely no problem, which I did think, £4 probably about right for car boot prices. So I'm quite pleased with those. Again, don't know where they're going to go. I have got a few fireplaces, but as you can imagine, they are crammed full of everything. I bought, oh, the lady that I mentioned a week or two ago. Do you remember me saying that there was a lady who was selling everything for 20 pence? And it was Laura Ashley curtains, beautiful vintage habitat cushion. I bought no end of stuff off her, everything 20 pence. Well, she was there again today, and I didn't see her until she was just about ready to leave, and she'd only got about 10 items left, not surprisingly. But this week everything was 50 pence. Good for her. I mean, 20 pence is probably far too cheap, so I bought a few things off her for 50 pence as follows. I bought one of these to go across the bath. They're quite handy, and my youngest likes to prop her iPad up on the side, and one of these days it's going to end up falling in, so she can now prop the iPad up on that when she's in the bath. I bought this spice jar, which has never been opened, and it's full of lots and lots of spices, and of course spices never go off, so for 50 pence I thought that was fantastic. There's a dozen jars of spice in there. It's quite weighty, so that's good. Then I bought, I don't know how I'm going to show you, I bought a laundry basket, oh my gosh, which was of course also 50 pence. Really nice condition as well, so that's huge. And probably like you other ladies watching, endlessly washing never seems to stop in this house. And then I bought this, I just need to put it in the dishwasher, but that was 50 pence as well. I've got loads of teapots, I don't need a teapot, but you know, 50 pence, I wasn't going to say no. And it's in beautiful condition. I mean, it's not vintage, it's just a bit of shabby chic, but yeah, 50 pence, excuse me, put that over there. And then I bought this, which again, you might think it's a bit tacky. It's probably just a Home Bargains or a B&M thing, and it's to hold your wine in. I mean, 6 bottles of wine never last in this house, because if there's 6 bottles on the side, they get drunk pretty quickly. I sound like an alcoholic, I'm not, but I'm just not very good at keeping wine in the house. But the reason I bought this is because I thought I'd put it in the bathroom at the side of the toilet, and I can put my bleaches and my toilet cleaners and I don't know, whatever else, polish, fly spray or whatever there is at the sides of the loo. And I thought, oh, that'll keep them quite neat and quite organised. That was £1, and he insisted on £1, but that's fine. Oh, this is also from the 50 pence lady. I bought 10 plates, and I thought they were quite nice quality, and better than being just nice quality. Can you see they're actually Denby? The only sort of downside, if there is a downside, when you've paid 50 pence for 10 Denby plates, I mean, I really can't complain, can I? But there's 3 side plates. No, sorry, there's 7 side plates and then 3 dinner plates. So it's a shame there weren't a few more dinner plates, but Denby is just so lovely. And obviously at 5 pence a plate, I mean, yeah, Denby's pretty pricey, isn't it? And lovely quality. So 5 pence a plate, so 10 plates. So yeah, so I'll pop those in the dishwasher tonight, and then they'll be in the cupboard. I got some pictures, as always, because I always love my pictures. These are quite nice. I've got a similar one in a frame from Laura Ashley, via the car boot, originally from Laura Ashley. I bought it about 10 years ago, and I love it. It's in the kitchen. I'll post a picture of it over the course of the week. So these aren't Laura Ashley. It's that kind of style, but they're actually, I think, was it from the range? Yeah, these are from the range. But they're quite sweet, and they're quite a nice size as well. And I asked the lady how much they were. She said, oh, 50 pence. And I said, oh, do you mean each or for both? And she said each. And then I said, well, would you take 50 pence for both? Never in a million years thinking she'd say yes. I thought she'd say, are you having a laugh? But yeah, 50 pence each. Would you take 50 pence for both? And she said, yeah, no problem. Of course I will, my darling. So I was like, wow, great. So they're going to go up. Probably, I think I'm going to put those up in the kitchen. So I was pleased with those. I bought, oh gosh, yes, I put this on my story. My girls are grown up now, so even though I talk about them like the babies, so I understand from seeing other people's stories, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that every primary school child in England got one of these for the Queen's Jubilee, because I can remember seeing people posting this book, and it's all people who've got younger children. I remember thinking, oh, I want one of those, and thought it would be years before I come across one. But this was for sale today, and it's absolutely pristine, and I was quite surprised that it was for sale so soon. But the lady selling it was Polish, so the Queen may mean less to her than she means to me. Who knows? I don't know. Not my place to question why she was getting rid of her Queen Elizabeth book, but I'm very glad that she was, and I'm even gladder that it was only 20 pence. So yep, so there we go. And then I got gardening tools, which also you may have seen on my story. he was asking £1 each for them. There's 3 of them, that's all he got. And I've got a bad back, which is no wonder. It's probably walking around the car boots going endless bikes and then tripping down rabbit holes and things. It's no wonder I've got a bad back. But these are £1 each, and I like them because they've got a really long handle. So yeah, so if I'm leaning over, I'm hoping it'll help my back out a little bit. And I offered him £2 for the 3, and he said absolutely not. He said no, I want £3. And I said, well, why don't you meet me in the middle then at £2.50? He said, oh, go on then. He said, I'm not feeling very well and I want to get back home. I was like, oh, darling. So I paid my £2.50, got my gardening tools and was pleased with that. And then gave him a bit of advice, as I do, on honey and hot lemon, and get your feet up, get some rest, get out of this sun, get yourself back. I bought this letter rack to go on my desk. And I've had these before, and I've probably got some in the house already somewhere. But the reason I've bought this is because, I say it a lot, I'm really not a very tidy person. It's not that I'm unclean, and I'm certainly, you know, not dirty with anything. Everything that I've got in the house is so lovely. But I'm just like, it's like the way that my head works. There's always stuff going on. I can never finish a task, so I can start arranging something or start doing something, and then I really struggle. I can get 95% done. The last 5%, it's like, woof, my interest level goes and it will just get left. So I am trying so hard to be a better, tidier, neater version of me, and possibly one who starts to enjoy housework, which I really don't enjoy housework. So I've been reading Mrs. Hinch's book. It hasn't started working yet, but anyway. So the reason that I bought that is to go on my desk, because my desk is an absolute jumble of everything. There's like, you know, a bill comes through or a bank statement, or I write myself little notes or lists of things to do. I'm a great list writer. And then before you know it, there's like a stack like that on my desk. So I'm hoping that my desk will now start to be tidy, and at least the stack of stuff will be stuck in here out of the way. That was £1. I said 50p. And again, I was surprised. People were great today. Sometimes you do get people stick to the guns, which is absolutely fine. I think as long as you're polite about it. But everybody seemed to be saying, yep. Maybe it's because I got there later in the day than usual, that people were just wanting to get rid of things. So 50p for that. I thought that was great. I got, oh gosh, more pictures. I'm really pleased with these. There was a lady selling lots of pictures. A good way to do it, if you're at Car Boot, if you can see a map full of pictures and some of them are rubbish and some of them are really nice, don't point out the best one first. Don't say, oh, how much is that beautiful picture at the back? Just say a general, oh, how much are your pictures, please? And quite often they'll just go, oh, which ones? And then I just say, oh, sorry, I've not looked, I haven't decided yet, I was just wondering how much they were. And then generally the psychology behind it is that the person selling, of course, will always start off with the cheapest ones. Oh, there's little ones down the front there, 50p each, and then these ones here are £1. And then they don't like to go up too much, and they say, oh, maybe a couple of quid for the, you know, the ones that are in pairs at the back. And then you've sort of got them. So that's exactly what happened today. Nice lady, she was there with her mum selling pictures, and I was like, how much are your pictures? Exactly that scenario, which is, you know, sort of quite common, quite the norm. So by the time she got to the ones at the back, which were the lovely ones in pairs, and she was like, oh, and a couple of pounds a pair I want for those. I'm sure she probably might have been saying earlier on in the day £5 a pair, but it's that thing, can't sort of jump up too much. So the ones that I wanted and bought are these ones, because I've got some of these. Again, I'll have to take a picture and show you. There's all little things around the house I want to show you. So I've got some of these in the downstairs toilet already, and some of them I have, I mean, there's only a few in there, but a couple of them I've bought like this. And then I picked up a greetings card at a Car Boot for about 10p, which is very similar to that. And I'd also got a frame very similar to this. So I made my own picture. I put the pretty greeting cards inside the picture frame, and it went with the other couple that I've got in there. So these, so where we're going with this story is that these were £2 for the pair. And then thinking that's actually a really good buy for a pair of nicely framed and mounted pictures. I then wasn't going to buy these, but I just thought, gosh, these are really cute as well. So let me get you the other one. I mean, these are obviously more for a child. Like I've said, my girls are too grown up for them. So £2 for that pair as well. So I said, well, if I'm having 2 pairs, could we do them all for £3? And she had a little think. She said, yeah, I think we can. So I was like, oh, brilliant, thank you. So I've got 4 pictures for £3, equivalent of 75 pence each, and they're just lovely, and they're absolutely perfect condition. What haven't I shown you? Ah, yes, I've got to show you my toiletries. Let me show you the toiletries now. There was a fella selling these Lenore Unstoppables. I love these. I've tried a few of the different fragrances, but they are expensive. I mean, I only buy them if they're on offer or if I've got a voucher or what have you. But this blue one is my favourite. You have to put a capful in the bottom of your washing machine. Well, actually, you can put half a capful in, but I'm in a hard water area, so you always need a bit more of anything if you want to get a nice smell in your washing. So you put a capful of these in the bottom of your machine, then you put your washing in, and then you put your washing tablet powder, whatever, in as normal, and they come out and they smell, your clothes smell amazing, and the smell lasts, you know, until the next time they wash. They really are very good. So he was selling these at £2 a bottle, a jar, whatever you call it, and then he got the bigger ones at £3 for a jar, but the bigger ones, he'd only got I'm not sure what fragrance, it was a yellow one, and I don't know what the yellow ones smell like, and I've tried other ones and not thought they're as good, so I wanted to stick with the blue. He'd only got 2 of these left. I'm showing you one because I've had loads of washing on today, so the other one's already sat on top of the washing machine. So £2 each. I offered him £3. I said, can I have your last 2 for £3 please? And he said yes. I think, off the top of my head, I think these are, well, prices are changing, aren't they, going up at the moment, but I think these are around about £4 a jar. So very pleased. So equivalent of £1.50. I bought this for 50 pence, which is a micellar face wash and a nice little soft flannel. One of my daughters will have that. There was a lady with a box of toiletries and all sorts of random things in there, and everything was 50 pence. I picked out this Ambipure anti-tobacco air freshener. Nobody smokes here, but it just says that it neutralizes and produces a nice smell. So as long as it produces a nice smell, I'm happy with that. So that plug in there, 50 pence, and then the talcum powder, 50 pence. That's a nice Marks and Spencer's one. And then I've said about these before, I love this Heel Genius from Soap and Glory. I like foot creams in general, so I tend to do these once a week, and they're lovely. And because that was a little one, I didn't feel particularly cheeky. I don't tend to feel too cheeky anyway, I'm so used to doing it. But I said, can we do 3 for £1, including this little one? And again, yeah, fine with that. Then another lady selling toiletries, and it was all a bit random. She'd got 4 different boxes out with odds and sods in, and she said, oh, that box is 50 pence, that box is 20 pence, and those boxes are 10 pence. So the 10 pence was like tiny little tester or things like you get off an aeroplane. But then the 50 pence box and the 20 pence box seemed like similar sorts of things. I couldn't sort of see why one box was 50 pence. So like, for example, that was in the 50 pence box, but it's only half full. But then the Body Shop foot cream and Body Shop vitamin E was in the 20 pence box, and obviously that would be a lot more expensive. Well, anyway, I didn't know if maybe people had pick things up and put them back in the wrong box, but I got Dove Body Shop toner, Body Shop foot cream, a 2/3 or 3/4 full bottle of nail enamel remover, Nivea full not being used face scrub, new not being used, no particular special brand, just a hand wash. Again, it'll go in the downstairs loo. And then another Body Shop, and this is a foot spray, peppermint, so a cooling spray. So I put all of that, and I said I've had some from the 50 pence box and some from the 20 pence box. I said, can I just give you £2 for that? Does that work for you? And she said, yeah, that's great. She just saves me working it out. So for £2, again, a nice batch of toiletries there. And then there's one more store that I went to, and I spent £11 with them, and then I think I've shown you everything from today. So the first thing that I spotted on this stall, again, some of you won't necessarily like it. I actually might eBay it, because realistically, this is a hearth rug, and the hearth in the fire that I tend to use, it really kind of, you know, spits out from the logs, so there's every chance this would catch fire, which of course I don't want to risk, but I just loved it. Look at that, 1930s. It is beautiful. Yes, there's a few marks. I need to get the vanish on it and give it a shampoo. Can you see? I don't know how much of that you can see, but yeah, so we started off with that at a £5. So I said, oh right, okay. I said, hang on, I'm going to ask you about some other things. So that was at a £5. And I said, how much is your picture? And he said, oh, I want £3 for that. He said, that's for Shrewsbury artist. And it does say on the back, Ben W. Adams, or maybe Ben Wadhams. Ben Wadhams, not Ben W. Adams. I'm changing his name. And it's signed. And even if it wasn't signed, what a pretty little picture. And it is meant to go that way around. That's not me holding it upside down. So he wanted 3 for the picture. He was on 5 for the rug. And because I hadn't said yes to the rug, he said, without me even saying anything, he said, I suppose we could call it 4 for the rug. So I thought, all right, good. I like it when they start knocking their own prices down before you even got to get in there and say anything. And then I saw this, which as soon as I saw it, I just thought, oh my gosh, that's lovely. That's a little Cath Kidston plaque. But no, it's not. It's an old, they said to me it's an old 1920s, but it's not as old as that. They've got that wrong. They're guessing at that. But I'm going to say that it is probably 1950s, and it's made with foil. And this used to be a thing. I can remember these kits actually in the 70s. I can remember being bought one for Christmas, where you'd sort of, you'd get a screen and you'd scratch the foil away. I don't know if anybody else had one of those. And you'd, churches and stained glass windows and things, you used to scratch into these boards that you only ever get them at Christmas time. But look at that, it just reminded me so much of Stanley Dog. So I'm going to find out what that's worth, and I shall be eBaying that, I think, just because I reckon what I'll get for this will probably pay for all of what I've spent today and all the clothes that I've bought. And it's always nice then, if you go and you get all these bargains and you sell one item, it covers the cost of all the money you've spent in that day. So yeah, so that will probably be online. And then I also bought from the same people this, and this dropped down from, what did they start off at? They started off at 5, and I think they let me have it for, it was either £3 or £4, I forget which, but it certainly wasn't a lot. And it is a really gorgeous handmade throw. I don't know if you can quite tell because it's going a bit dark now, but I don't know if you can see the work in that. But yeah, can you see? It's, I mean, it's very boho, very ethnic type vibes, and same on the other side. I don't know if you'll be able to make it out, but it's little elephants. But look at that. And the same again on the other side. So it's a bit like an ethnic elephant patchwork quilt. My gosh, try saying that if you've had a drink. So it was a really nice day today. Yet again, come home with lots of lovely things. Kind of glad in a way that I'm not going tomorrow, even though tomorrow morning I'll be like that, itching to get in the car and drive and go and buy and spend and all the rest of it. But I am buying too much stuff at the moment, and the house is getting so full, and then it ends up causing arguments because I will have stuff everywhere and people do start tripping over it. And my solution to it is, well, we need a bigger house, which is madness. This house is very grand, but I will tell you it's not huge. Everybody thinks from the pictures that it's huge. It isn't at all. It really isn't. But it's very grand and it's very impressive. Well, impressive looking. Not so impressive when you walk in and you fall over half a dozen pictures stacked up and you stub your toe. So yeah, so I am trying to rein myself in a little bit at the moment because I'm my own worst enemy. Now, it would be fine to go out and buy the quantities of things that I buy if I was Little Miss Housewife or Little Miss Neat and Tidy, but as I've said time and time again, I know what my strengths are and I sure as hell know what my weaknesses are. And tidying up, I'm just useless at it, absolutely useless. But I love making a house a home and I love dressing the house, but I'm just not very good at sorting everything out. So yeah, so tomorrow I'm having a lie-in. So you'll be watching this. I'm going to post this Sunday morning, so you'll be watching this, and this is last night. So yeah, I'll be having a lie-in and I'm going to have a chill one tomorrow, and then I'll see how I feel Monday. There'll be loads of car boots on bank holiday. If any of you were thinking of doing Shrewsbury Sunday morning, it's not on this weekend, but I'm sure if you have a look online, wherever you are in the country, there is a good chance that there will be a car boot on tomorrow and quite possibly on Monday as well, with it being the bank holiday. Anyway, enough from me. I'm going to go and get into my pajamas and have a relax. So I've really enjoyed talking to you all again. Like in my head, you're all sat behind the phone now listening to me. Wouldn't that be lovely? Okay, well, have a lovely bank holiday weekend, everybody. Stay safe, all of you. Take care. Bye.